What is the goal of QLATINX?
So QLATINX is working to advance and empower LGBTQ people of color, specifically Latinx individuals in our community. Historically, in Central Florida and across the country, the LGBTQ plus movement has largely been led by white cisgender gay men. And so for us, it's about building a base of power.
Where did this organization come from?
The Pulse nightclub was a space for LGBTQ plus Latinx individuals to come together in celebration. But in the absence of that, many individuals were seeking support, seeking comfort. And so through word of mouth, we started creating these support groups that were rooted in our language, that were rooted in our culture. And so in the conversations that were being held with individuals in this space, they recognized that they didn't see themselves represented in leadership. They didn't have the ability to access linguistically and culturally informed mental health services. So when we took these concerns to leaders in the community, we didn't see action happen in a way that was rapid enough. And so the individuals in these circles turned to each other and said, well, then let's just do it ourselves.
Why is it important to focus not on the LGBTQ community as a whole, but rather specifically the Latinx community?
LGBTQ plus people of color experience violence at higher rates, according to the Anti-Violence Project. It's about ensuring that we are addressing the root causes of violence, which are often resulted from poverty, which are often resulted from a lack of social and quality care, and a lack of community. And so we build spaces of community. We advocate for areas of equity and justice so that they have a platform in which to enhance and echo out their voices for change.
How have you measured your impact so far?
We, as an organization, have helped to introduce local legislation in partnership with the City of Orlando called the Trust Act, which helped to create deeper bonds of trust between our immigrant community and the city officials and law enforcement. Part of that was allowing for a broader visibility of U visas, which are visas awarded to individuals who help police officers when they themselves have been victims of violent crimes.
The organization has been able to really bring something horrible and help make a meaningful impact on people's lives.
For us, healing does not have a timeline. And in healing, we can learn and grow within ourselves. And for us, the power of healing often comes coupled with being in community with one another.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.